That's a good story behind that because I sent Don Calloway, was coming to work some indies in Montreal, and he was part of TNA. So
Don Callis?
Don Callis, Don Callis, sorry.
Yeah, it's okay.
Which he was supposed to be a former partner of Rick Martel, but Rick had decided to go by himself to WCW and all the work that they did for a year.
Yeah, they were going to be the models, right?
Yeah. They did the work. They worked for a year as the models, and at the last second, Rick, scrapped that thing and went by himself to WCW.
Yeah.
And just because Don told me that, he was a little bit, not pissed because he had learned some good experience and it was,
But he never really got over huge.
Yeah, no. But he wished he would have had...
This comes back to me. They were called the Truth Commission.
Baby.
No, remember Don... You asked me earlier about the military guys.
Yeah,
Don
the Truth
Callis
Commission
was the manager, the Truth Commission.
Yeah, then he was supposed to be a good talker.
Yeah.
They had him talk for an hour,
Yeah.
He was just talking.
Right.
And nothing was happening.
Okay, so you went to... so Don Callis got you in TNA.
Yeah, I gave him a tape, and he gave it to Jeff, Jeff knew me.
Yeah.
And my tape was my three-way against Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens.
Okay, so you'd already been training with him.
This was an amazing, crazy match. It's on YouTube if people want to see it. PCO against Kevin Steen and El Generico, which is Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens. And the three-way is crazy, and I sent that to TNA. And they looked at it, and right away, Generico wasn't big. Kevin wasn't that big. Like back then, he was probably 220. And
before
Generico,
he went on his McDonald's diet.
yeah. But at least, he knows it and he doesn't care about it. But Generico was probably 175. So they saw the match and they figured this guy can work with our guys in the X division. So I went on into a Battle Royal X division, won the whole Battle Royal. And then what happened next? I had a few matches with different X division guys. The thing is that they were poor as far as money. And most of the guys were driving all the way from anywhere in Ontario or Ottawa to Scott D'Amour's house. And then they were like driving with a van from Scott to Detroit and flying off Detroit to Nashville on Southwest cheap. But me living in Montreal, there was no way I did it once. I did it once all the way to Scott D'Amour. It was a long way. There was no way I was going to do that for every Wednesday night. So they flew me straight from Montreal. So my plane ticket was around $500, $600, sometimes $800 plus my payoff. I was costing them a lot of money for the X division. So after 3 months, I got released. So.
But you ended up working, not with them, but you were the French commentator for TNA for a long time.
Yeah, for almost 5 years until I decided to quit. I was working in Puerto Rico. I think when you came here, you came to Puerto Rico in 2005.
I was there in
so I started right after Puerto Rico. I met Marc Blondin there. He was on a cruise. Doing some islands and everything, so I met with him and he asked me if I was going to be interested of doing that. And I said, yeah, well, I'm finishing here in Puerto Rico. I'll go back in Montreal and I'll do the voiceovers with you for the French commentary and for the TNA shows. And that really got over big in Quebec, the stuff that we were doing, me and Blondin and the TNA. And then after that, I quit by myself because I really wanted another real good shot at WWE. And I went to work back in England for Brian Dixon in 2008.
Yeah, you wanted to go full-time to show
full-time,
WWE.
And I always had in my mind that if WWE comes to Montreal, and I'm from Montreal, and I show up at the Bell Center for them, it's just another guy showing up. But if you're from Montreal and they have a show in Birmingham, England, or in London, England, and you show up there, you're busy doing something. You're wrestling every night. So that was my thought. You know, I always wanted to be outside of Montreal to meet them. So I was meeting them in Germany, meeting them in England, meeting them in other places. And that's the way I always thought, you know, just to make it look like wrestling is your full-time job.